Let's start with our webinar to Ready for Impact-Linked Finance. Warm welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today this Thursday afternoon for 1 hour of input about impact-linked finance and our new supporting program, Ready for Impact-Linked Finance for enterprises or impact enterprises in Germany, on how to get ready for impact-linked finance. I'm going to share my screen, and I hope that everyone can see it. As I said, over the next 1 hour, we are going to give you an overview about our new support program. And you will also get a look into what does the program actually do, if it's relevant for your organization. And also we will give you an overview about what is actually impact-linked finance. So before starting with the webinar, just some info. Please feel free to turn on your camera if you're comfortable doing so. It's always nice to see some faces. And you're also very much welcome to ask any questions that you have during the webinar. We have one dedicated Q&A section where you can ask your questions, and you're also invited to use the chat function to ask your questions. Last but not least, we are going to record that session in order to make it for you available afterwards. I hope you're all fine with that. Then without further ado, let's jump into our slide set and start with introducing us. Who are we actually? Today I was going to present as Björn, our founder and co-CEO of Roots of Impact. And then you have Jordan, Luisa, and myself from the impact management team from Roots of Impact, who are the heads of the Ready for Impact-Linked Finance program. So what's Roots of Impact? We are specialists in designing and implementing solutions that strategically use capital to enhance positive and social environmental outcomes. And one of our solutions and key solutions is impact-linked finance. And Björn is going to introduce that to you in a second. Then I will just to look at the agenda. As I said, Björn will start. Then we are going to introduce to you our program. So it's Luisa, Jordan, myself. And then we have our Q&A section before the closing. And then I would hand over to Björn.
Thanks a lot, Caro. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure. I'm Björn. I'm going to introduce the concept of impact-linked finance and also one brief practical example. What is interesting is also I'm here in Frankfurt in my office. We are in this business since 10 years now. It's the first time that we actually work in Germany. So it's very, very much, it's a big pleasure for us now to start doing this work in Germany. And if you go to the next slide, I would like to start where we are coming from. So when we think about impact-linked finance, it's very much about rewarding all the value that impact enterprises create. And when we say all the value, we are referring actually to the double or triple bottom line, right? So when it comes to finance and investment, it's obvious that investors and funders are very much interested in the business value, the commercial value these enterprises create. However, we think we need to see the entire spectrum of value that an enterprise creates and rewarding it explicitly and providing finance linked to social and environmental impact. This is what impact-linked finance is all about. You may think, hey, maybe every social enterprise should just get some rewards, like because it's a social enterprise or some subsidies. But we also have to recognize that impact can differ quite heavily between organizations. If you go to the next slide, you see this is an extract from an impact performance report from 60 Decibels that is measuring impact performance. And here you see the impact performance of microfinance institutions in Asia. And there's a scoring system behind, but and this all is based on client surveys. The message here is these are more or less all organizations acting in the same sector with the same business model, providing microcredit, microinsurance to people in need, and their impact performance differs so heavily that there is a spread between the bottom performer and the top performer of 800%. Right? And for that reason, we cannot just say, oh, they're doing good, let's give them some rewards. No, we have to actually design it in a way that it really supports performance or rewards performance. And I'm happy also to show you how this looks like in practice. If you go to the next slide. And this is, of course, not just about microfinance. This is about anything social innovation and social entrepreneurship. Impact-linked finance, in very brief words, is about better terms for better impact. So better terms means financial rewards embedded into finance. This can be interest rate step downs, so discounts on interest rates in turn for impact performance, cash incentives directly paid to the enterprise based on their achievement of outcomes. This can be lower repayment amounts of, for example, loans or other financial instruments, or it can be longer repayment terms, everything that benefits the enterprise and represents a strong incentive to do even better and to really perform on impact. And this impact can be anything. This is tailored, right? So every enterprise is unique, and we take it from there. So there are all the different types of outcomes that can be supported through impact-linked finance. And here's just a few examples, be it additional jobs, additional income, better health outcomes, also environmental impact beyond just carbon, biodiversity outcomes, etc. So that's always the same principle. Impact-linked finance shares one key principle: it's better terms for better impact. And on the next slide, I can give you a little bit of an overview about some commonly used instruments, how to implement this in practice. Here you see the first one, social impact incentives. That's an easy one. This is actually cash incentives directly paid to the enterprise. So we agree with the company on impact targets to be achieved in the next few years. And according to target achievement, we are paying them if they achieve these targets. And very importantly, this is not all or nothing. This is sliding scale. So every unit of impact should count. And of course, this is not an investment. This is a pure payment, and this is then connected with an investment. So a social impact incentive works. One party is paying cash incentives to the enterprise, another party is providing investment capital, and it comes together on the level of the enterprise. Another example, very easy, is an impact-linked loan. I mentioned this already. You agree with the enterprise on interest rate step downs. Like, for what kind of impact do I get what kind of discount on my interest rates? And this is then implemented during the term of the loan. And the benefit for the enterprise in all of these instruments, by the way, is the better your impact, the lower your cost of capital will get, which really balances out the value the company really creates for society. Can you go one slide back? Yeah, because there's one instrument that is very important. So impact-linked revenue share agreement is actually a revenue-based loan where there is no fixed interest rate, but just you share parts of your revenue with the investor until it's repaid. And there's another special instrument called the Simple Agreement for Future Impact, SAFI. And this is, we invented this to simplify actually an impact-linked revenue share agreement and make it very, very enterprise-friendly. You will, if you later on hear more about the program, you will learn much more about this new instrument, which is very, very tailored to the needs of enterprises. Now you can go to the next slide, please. Here is a very, here's a snapshot of the results that such incentives do create. I can unfortunately not disclose the company. It's an e-mobility lender in India. And we agreed, and this was an impact-linked loan provided by the DFC, the US Development Bank. And we advised this investor in their incentive scheme. And they agreed with the company on 3 impact metrics that you can see here on the slide. Sense of empowerment, it was all about gender impact, right? And it was about, okay, what does this e-mobility lending result in terms of benefits for the women customers? And here you see the 3 metrics: sense of empowerment, savings that increased, and quality of life improvement. And you see quite significant improvements in all 3 dimensions. I have to admit, this is exceptional. So you can't expect this kind of strong improvements in every single case. But the point is, it works. Like the right incentive, of course, it's also a question of how much incentives are at play. In this specific example, this was an interest rate step down of up to 2.5%. And this is the result, how the impact of the company improved in only 18 months. So there will be additional measurement periods. This is just after the first 18 months. Next slide, please. So this is actually my last before I hand over to Caroline, because this is all theory until the company is actually prepared for this. Because to actually enter in such a transaction, it's quite obvious that there are 2 very important criteria that the company needs to meet. One is it needs to be investable. Like investors need to be keen to actually provide the necessary investment. And on the other side, it needs to have its impact measurement system and the data in place to agree with them on such rewards. And this is the perfect linkage to our program here, where we will now dive in deeper. Over to you, Caro.
Thank you so much, Björn. Before looking into the program, I would like to ask if there are some questions from the audience that you would like to ask to Björn specifically about impact-linked finance. If not, we will, dive into our new program. As Björn already mentioned, it is the first program in Germany, which is specifically focuses on preparing social or impact enterprises for impact-linked finance. We at Roots of Impact realized from very early on that to successfully implement impact finance, it's not enough to provide capital alone, but you also have to provide the necessary skills for the enterprises, especially when it comes to measuring and demonstrating the impact. And that's why just a few years after founding Roots of Impact, we started with the Social Finance Academy. That is basically our capacity building arm at Roots of Impact to provide technical assistance, mainly to social entrepreneurs, and to help them in their impact-linked finance journey. And one part of the Social Finance Academy, where, as I said, support programs like boot camps, for example, or train the trainer programs. And so far, we started in 2017. We already prepared more than 135 enterprises on their journey. Coming to our program in Germany, Ready for Impact-Linked Finance, what's I think one of the most important information is that it's fully funded. So it's free for participants. It's funded by the Ministry for Economic Affairs and Energy and the European Social Fund Plus. So it's basically for all enterprises free of charge to participate in our program. And the program is designed in a way that it really recognizes the different stages and needs of impact enterprises on their impact-linked finance journey. So we have a 3-step support program. And in 1 second, I'm also going to show you how it looks like in practice. But yeah, we really try to design the program in a way that it's really open for everyone, starting from maybe a very basic IMM or impact measurement and management system to being almost impact-linked finance ready and just needing someone as a sparring partner to discuss terms, for example. Maybe starting with the arguments before showing you the program to make a bit more of an excitement. So we built this program for impact enterprises in Germany. In German, this would be called gemeinwohlorientierte Unternehmen that want to learn how to build a reliable impact measurement and management system, use the impact data to track progress, and also use this data to improve the impact by, for example, tracking it and just thinking about it as well. And obviously to improve their chances of receiving funding that directly rewards the impact they create. And last but not least, we also, especially with the third components of our program, want to make you feel confident when it comes to leading investor conversations and really discussing terms that would benefit you. Then let's go into our offering. As I said, 3-step program. The first step is the potential analysis, which assesses your current impact potential, and you will receive targeted feedback on your readiness for impact-linked finance. The second step are our boot camps. So it's a hands-on training for effective impact measurement and management and clear impact record to prepare you for impact-linked finance. And the third one is our one-on-one coaching. So it's basically individual assistance for you, a tailored preparation for impact-linked finance, where you have also guidance on creating your own terms. And yeah, as I said, 3-step program, but there's no, in order to start with us, there's no need to do all 3 components, but you would have to start with a potential analysis to basically already get sense checks how ready I am as an enterprise. And then you can go along to the other parts of the components if you want to. How it works and looks in practice. So we prepared a small overview here. So you would start from our website, which you're going to see in the second, the link. So the website basically allows you to dive deeper into the program and also learn a bit more about our offering and what we have done so far. Then as a second step, you would fill out the impact-linked finance potential analysis. And then we will process your answers. So it's basically a form. We process your answers, and then we are going to generate a report for you that is going to be available on our Knowledge Hub. So this is a Knowledge Hub that we created just for the program. And the Knowledge Hub offers you your potential analysis results, but also a lot of other interesting resources related to impact linked finance, or how to step up your game when it comes to impact measurement and management. And really, it's the Knowledge Hub where we also include a lot of our experience from the past almost 10 years working for the Social Finance Academy. Also in the Knowledge Hub, you will see our boot camps. So you can choose the courses that resonate most with you. And last but not least, also through the Knowledge Hub, you're able then to apply for our one-on-one preparation coaching, where we basically have an intro call with you and assess if the coaching is the right fit for you and what would be the next steps. So this is like the overall journey that you would take with us. And now I would, as I said, each step prepares you to demonstrate your impact reliably and unlock better financing conditions for your proven impact. That's important to say. So it's basically a whole package. And then before handing over to Jordan, who's talking to you a bit more about the potential analysis, I just wanted to highlight also our program partners and supporters who've already supported us with outreach and to ensure that the program reaches obviously the right audience, which is Ascent, Ostwerk, Phase, Kammer Capital, Cara Impact Venture, and Impact Associates. And please also stay tuned. We are going to launch a series of events. For example, we have one upcoming event with Phase in March. So please stay tuned to also see more events of us and our partners in the upcoming months and years. Then I would hand over to Jordan for the impact linked finance potential analysis.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. I would like to take a few minutes of your time now to introduce the impact linked finance potential analysis, which, as was mentioned, is the very first step in joining the Ready for Impact Linked Finance program. So in that sense, every entrepreneur must first complete the potential analysis in order to benefit from both the bootcamp and/or the one-on-one coaching opportunity. So in the following 2 slides, I'll share more information about how the potential analysis works. So if we could go to the next slide, please. Wonderful. So completing the potential analysis entails filling a simple survey form that's located on our website. Christina shared the link already in the chat in case you want to have a look. Please expect that filling in the form will take approximately 1 hour of your time to complete it. Although most of the questions are multiple choice, yes or no, etc., there are also a few free response questions requiring you to type in your answer, which could take a bit more time. And we do definitely understand that the free time of impact entrepreneurs is very precious. And as a result, we tried to design the form in as lean of a manner as possible to be able to deliver you with certain key benefits, such as fresh insights into your readiness for raising impact-linked finance, an analysis of some gaps in your current impact measurement approach, and also a tailored roadmap of improvement areas that can be aided, especially by joining our bootcamp modules, and also access to the Ready for Impact-Linked Finance Knowledge Hub, where you can then access further learning resources, subscribe to the modules, and also apply for the chance to receive one-on-one coaching. So the form topics focus on assessing essentially 3 areas. This includes your business model, social or environmental impact, and traction, financials, and fundraising history. So in short, the more complete the potential analysis is, the more targeted and accurate our insights will be. So it really is to your benefit to not skip any of the questions and breeze through it. So moving to the next slide, after the survey form is submitted on the website, we will aim to share the results with entrepreneurs within 2 weeks. So this will come in the form of a 2 to 3 page PDF document. Before we can provide entrepreneurs with that file, though, the German government does require that entrepreneurs sign 3 forms. So to make it easy, we will aim to send those to the entrepreneurs partially filled out. So all they need to do is just sign and add the signature. And then once they share those signed forms with us, they can expect to receive an email with a link to register on our Knowledge Hub, which is where the potential analysis results will be located. And moving on to what the results document will look like, actually. So up on the screen, you can see a sneak peek with a spider graph scoring, showing the overall potential for impact-linked finance and the corresponding sub-scoring within the business, impact, and financials and investment sections. So if you were to scroll down within the results document, you would also see more information, including strengths and considerations per subsection for the entrepreneurs to think about, as well as a set of recommended bootcamp modules for them to fill some of the impact measurement gaps that were identified and become even more ready for raising impact-linked finance. And then lastly, whether the entrepreneurs would be immediately eligible for our one-on-one coaching opportunity. So the screenshot you can see on the slide is just a sneak peek of the very top of the form, but there's much more that will be uncovered after filling in the potential analysis survey form on the website. So I hope this is all very clear, but yeah, in case there's questions, happy to answer anything later on during today's presentation.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Then I would hand over to Lisa for our Impact-Linked Finance Readiness Bootcamp, which is basically the second component of our program.
Yes, thank you, Caro. Hi, everyone. I'm Luisa, and I will be your trainer in the bootcamps. And building on what Jordan just explained, I will now briefly introduce the Impact-Linked Finance Bootcamps and also show how they support you after the potential analysis. Next slide. So the bootcamp consists of 6 modular online sessions, and the content will be tailored to your starting point, so we can ensure to meet you exactly where you are, whether you are just beginning your impact measurement journey or whether you already have some systems in place that just needs some refinement. Also, so what you will ultimately gain from the bootcamp is then also tailored to your needs. So that can be clarity on your impact, can be stronger measurement practices, and also a variety of practical tools to apply them. We will run our sessions bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, and you will be able to join us on a quarterly basis. This will also allow you some time between the sessions to digest and reflect, and also to apply the learnings, which is very critical for impact practices. And on the next slide, we can have a look at how, thanks. We can have a look at how the bootcamp fits into your broader Ready for Impact-Linked Finance journey. So during the bootcamp, we will focus on the core building blocks that are needed for impact-linked finance. And that's from clarifying your impact logic to working with your impact and defining your impact KPIs, data, and also performance monitoring. And very importantly, it's been said before, but I want to highlight that even though it looks like a sequence here, the modules can be taken on a standalone basis as well. So this means, for example, if your company can focus only on the areas where the gaps were previously identified. For example, you already have a coherent impact strategy and solid KPIs, then, but you could maybe benefit a bit more from more insight into data collection and monitoring, then you could just skip session 3 and 4 and take the 2 respective sessions without needing to follow the full sequence. But everyone is, of course, welcome to do it anyways. And in short, these bootcamps help you from moving from the analytical part to the more practical action and prepare you for the next step toward impact-linked finance, which are the coachings.
Thank you so much, Luisa. Then I will move on to the last part, which is the impact-linked finance preparation coaching, which I'm doing together with our colleague Kuchle. So the impact-linked finance preparation coaching is basically, what are your benefits? You will work closely with our experts on one-on-one session on essential topics for real impact-linked finance negotiations. So basically what you have learned in the bootcamp, you will now, we will look deeper into it and work one-on-one on your impact strategy, for example, but also on your KPIs. You will access practical tools such as the ILF canvas and the term sheet to guide investor discussions. And you will also gain the confidence in demonstrating your impact in negotiating terms that reward it. So basically, what's important about the coaching, that I want to say it from the start, is that we are going to put you in the driver's seat. So basically, you can look at us as obviously mentor, but also a sparring partner, especially when it comes to the ILF design, and then to talk about the terms. So basically, our ideas, our approaches, that we give you the space to test your ideas or also practice your pitch for the investor. And yeah, to make that really as real life as it can get. So just to look briefly into our covered topics. The first one would be the impact framework and ILF, or impact-linked finance rationale. So we look at your overall impact strategy and help you shape a clear rationale for why impact-linked finance makes sense for your organization, including identifying what are the right metrics to link to better terms. So usually, for example, these are 2 or 3 impact metrics that we would use. And there are a bunch of different exercises that you can do to really nail down those that are most important for you. The second one is the data and IMM validation. So basically, once we decided what would be your key metrics that you want to move forward, we are going to look into your IMM system and see how you collect the data for those specific metrics and how you measure them, and make sure that we find strategies with you to make them robust and also credible, obviously, for the investor. And the third part is the ILF design and documentation. So we prepared term sheets that can also then be used as actual side letters in case that you move on to a real investment, where we are going to discuss with you how an impact-linked incentive scheme would look like. So you can already also plug in your metrics, and then we explore different ways of, for example, defining what could be a good target. So we basically talk about best practices so that you are confident enough to fill out the term sheet on your own, and also practice with us in order to convince your investor on why it makes sense to reward you for your impact. In the next slide, just a bit of formality. So about format and timeline. So the coachings are 6 to 8 virtual coaching sessions with our ILF expert. The full coaching cycle should be completed in 2 to 3 months. But this obviously also depends on your availability. And to be eligible for the coaching, you have to complete the potential analysis and also the recommended bootcamp models, have the necessary foundations for impact-linked finance, such as an advanced IMM system, and also have a clear intention to raise investment. So we basically focus obviously on those that can have the most success, let's say, when it comes to impact-linked finance. That's would be the last part of our program. And then, without further ado, I would like to open the floor for any questions that you may have about the program.
Yeah, if I may come in, like Amelia has asked actually the perfect question to kick it off. Amelia, do you want to ask it yourself, or should I cite from the chat?
Correct me, yes. Thanks, Christina. How do you help more lenders embrace impact-linked lending within a specific entrepreneurial context? Thank you.
Sorry, I mean, I didn't understand the question quite well, but maybe I can also just look at the chat. 1 second.
So for you, it's mainly about the local context, right? So that's the key, if I understand correctly. Amelia?
Yes, that's correct. In the local context, how do you encourage more lenders to embrace impact-linked lending?
Okay. Let me quickly answer this. Because I think it's going in the direction of what kind of metrics are relevant in a very specific local context. And the work like we prepare the entrepreneurs to reflect exactly what they have to bring to the table, which means actually if you have a very localized business that creates specific impact in a community or in a region, then the deal will also be about exactly this context. And they will come up with relevant metrics for them, right? We are not going to dictate any metrics. There's no menu we have to pick from. However, we will always make sure that there's also environmental impact covered, but that's a different story. When it comes to the lenders, right? So we are working with entrepreneurs, and we have a few partners who have kind of pre-committed to look at transactions, but we are not a broker, right? And we are also not the advisor to the investors or to the lenders. This would go beyond the scope of this program. However, if an enterprise is preparing for a very specific lender, we take this into account. Not sure whether this answers your question, but I think it was mainly about the metrics, right?
That's helpful, Björn. Yes, you answered it around the lending side of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions related to the program? There are obviously a lot of things that I haven't mentioned yet. So I guess you realized that the program will be in English, even so we are focusing on the German market. So yeah, that would be one. And our program officially started, so you can do your potential analysis today. And the bootcamp is going to start in March. So we are preparing everything for also kicking off the first bootcamp cohort, which is very exciting. Are there any other questions related to maybe the content or the logistics? Everything is virtual. So I think that's also a great benefit also for enterprises that are maybe not based in the bigger cities, but maybe also like smaller ones, but that are obviously still interested in getting rewarded for the impact. So yeah, don't feel shy to apply as well.
Maybe one question is around which impact enterprises or Sozialunternehmen qualify for the program.
Yeah, thank you, Christina. So that's a good one. So the limitations come from the funder, but they are not very big. So basically, every enterprise in Germany or even organization that offers some type of service or product in the social or economic ecological space can apply. What's important is that as Jordan already mentioned, is that you have to fill out these 3 forms. So basically you have to declare that you are a social enterprise. You also have to declare that you are a smaller to mid-sized business. So you can't be like a super huge enterprise with more than 250 employees. And then there's the last part, which is since this is like a state funded, the overall like grants that you have been getting in the past 3 years can't exceed like a specific amount, because you have basically as an enterprise in Germany certain contingent. But then when it comes to the legal form, it's super flexible. Also foundations can apply, or other types that are maybe not the usual enterprise can apply as long as they have some type of economic activity.
I would like to highlight one important idea that you mentioned, but I'm not sure whether this came across for everyone. So normally in a normal investment, the investor is more or less very, very much in the driver's seat and dictates the terms, right? And they come up with the term sheet, and then the enterprise has to take it from there. Let's put it like this. This program tries to flip the script. We are trying to equip the enterprise and bring them in a position that they can actually pitch both like the financial structure they would like to use, and this can also be something a bit more creative than equity or debt. And of course, we are not going very deep there. There are experts like FAS, etc., who do work on this. And more importantly, they can concretely pitch their impact and their rewards they would like to get for this, which is exceptional, which doesn't happen very often, right? And this, we hope this will significantly increase the chance that it really comes to such a deal, because the investor will most probably not come with this, right? Like, hey, do you want to have a discount on your interest rate? That's not the typical first question of an investor, with some exceptions, of course. But if an entrepreneur or a team explicitly asks for it and also has a very good case and is very well prepared for it, and as Caroline also said, has already kind of a term sheet prepared, like here are the metrics, here are the targets we are committed to achieve. And for this, we are asking for 0.5% of interest rate discount per year. This is a different pitch, and I hope this will also lead to, how to say it, like changing a little bit the power dynamics between investors and enterprises.
There's the question about if there's an example in Germany already for a company who has attracted impact-linked finance.
Yes.
Oh, this is for you, Caro.
For you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm laughing because we just a few months ago have closed one really exciting case, which is a case from Everwave. We got they got a mezzanine loan from ASIF, and we joined this transaction by designing the impact incentive scheme. So basically, we defined together with them 2 impact metrics very closely related to their business. So just so everyone knows, Everwave is a German enterprise that is committed to clean the rivers. So they have, they basically collect waste from rivers in several regions around the world in order to prevent this waste going into the oceans. And they are doing a great job, and wanted to also see if there's a way to get rewarded for it by also going the extra mile and being extra ambitious in what they want to do over the next years. So we decided on 2 metrics. One was related to the amount of waste that they would collect in the next 5 years, but focusing as well on best practices when it comes to how to collect that waste and the quality that they do in the whole collection process, sorting process, and so on. And the second metric was about using AI to analyze the waste that they collect, and to also like be more efficient in their process, and also push forward best practices that would also use technology and AI in order to step up the game and also be more efficient in collecting waste. So basically, these were the 2 metrics. It was a wonderful experience for us being involved, and also super surprising how great the investor took the terms. And we are going to publish a case study, especially on that case, in the following weeks on our website. So please stay tuned for that as well to receive more information about the case.
Yes, there is also a very good question from Nafia Faria. I hope I'm going to pronounce it correctly, who joined us from Bangladesh. Would you like to speak up, or should I ask the question for you?
Hi, I'm actually inside a class, but that's okay. So I am from Bangladesh. I run a small handicraft business. But we are looking forward to exporting and also help other small entrepreneurs who work with traditional goods in Bangladesh, help them export and help them expand to and help them get market access. So my question was that this is very impactful work, and since Bangladesh is going to be leveraged into an LDC country very soon, a lot of the duty-free or free trade agreements that are going to be inactive from this year. So I was hoping that if helping those small entrepreneurs who are on the very brink of, you know, extinction, will that be part of that impact investments or finance that we are talking about here? And how can, if that is so, how can we be a part of Roots of Impact? Thank you.
Thank you, Nafia, for the question. So for the Ready for Impact Linked Finance program in Germany, the companies have to be based in Germany. That's unfortunately a hard requirement. But I will hand over to Jordan, who has been involved over the last 5 years, I think, or almost, in the BBRIDI program that we have in Bangladesh. And maybe there are some things that we can offer. Jordan?
Yeah, I sincerely apologize. I missed the specific question about where there would be interest in trying to find a place where the BBRIDI program could support. But I'm happy to share general information about the program if it's helpful. Would that be useful, Nafia?
I'm from Bangladesh, and I think I can send an email so that you can like answer it through that email. That'd be okay?
Yeah, that would be excellent. Thank you
Okay,
very
can I
much.
have can I have the email in the chat?
Yes, I will type
Thank
it.
you so much.
Awesome. I'm looking also at the time. Okay, we still have 10 minutes. Let's see if someone else wants to speak up. Otherwise, I would close the session with our last slide of today. As I said, you can start right now your potential analysis. The program is open. Please also have a closer look into our blog post, for example, that we already created within our website to learn more about impact-linked finance. And there's also an FAQ section for very specific questions you might ask afterwards. Sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss any updates. You can also find the link on our website, and also updates, for example, related to the first bootcamp cohort. And in case of any other general questions to the program, if you prefer to send an email, you can definitely do that. And I will answer to you as quickly as possible. Yeah, then without further ado, thank you very much for taking the time to give us the space to present our new program. We are very excited to start supporting social entrepreneurs in Germany. And as Björn said, it's the first time doing this for us, so we are super excited to have the opportunity to support you, and we look forward to work with you together on your impact-linked finance journey. Thank you, everyone, also for all the speakers. Thank you so much.